Hello my hungry peeps, this is Kat aka Kakibot, and as always I am coming at you with a video full of practical tips for your visit of Edinburgh. This time we are going to be focused on a very important part of Scottish culture, culinary culture, haggis. I know that a lot of you are already fans of Scotland and our customs, so you probably know that this week, when this video is coming out, is the week of Burns Night, and we are celebrating the life of Robert Burns and his poetry, but also his love for haggis, Scotland's national dish. And I think that sometimes when you come to Scotland, it might be quite intimidating to decide where am I gonna get haggis, where is the place to just try like a little bit of it, where is a place to get like a really posh one. Do these restaurants take haggis seriously or not? I can't tell. Some of these places look touristy, some of them seem too posh. I don't know how expensive they're gonna be, and that's where this video comes in, because we're gonna try and help you decide. To be honest, I think that a lot of places in Edinburgh are a good choice. Haggis is just good. Just, you know, across the board, I think that in most nice pubs you will experience haggis in the proper way, but we have scoured the internet to make sure that we know what are the top recommended places for people, visitors and locals to have haggis. Some of these places will be affordable and almost like cafe-like and very casual, and some of them will be a bit more upscale. But whatever your taste or budget for haggis is on your trip, we will definitely have some tips that will help you decide. So yeah, I think we should go explore and find our first haggis spot. Let's! So we are starting our haggis hunt here on Royal Mile. Super convenient for everyone. This is the Scottish Storytelling Centre, a building from, I believe, the end of 15th century, also known as the John Knox House. You can come in here for a lot of interesting events. Definitely look up their program. But why we are here is that they have a little cafe inside, which is called the Haggis Box. And the Haggis Box operates this little cafe in the Storytelling Centre, but they also have like a little movable haggis box, which in the more touristy season kind of like travels around and offers haggis to people who might need it. By which I mean like people at festivals and people on beaches. It's good to follow them on social media to find out where exactly the moving haggis box is at the moment, but the haggis box here in the Storytelling Centre should be a relatively sort of certain thing. This was our first pick because we thought that this is one of the most convenient, cheapest, friendliest little spots to try some haggis if you've never had any before. They're open, I believe, between like 11 or 12 and 5, so it's not really a dinner place, it's a lunch place. And if you're not into haggis, if you're like a friend of someone who wants to try haggis, they also do soups and bacon sandwiches, the sort of like classic Scottish cafe fare. I would say that it's quite a lunchy size, so either you can share it between two people and then have something else as well, again to taste what it's about, or you can have one for yourself. It's definitely not gonna like super fill you up. It's quite lunch friendly rather than dinnery size of a portion. It also comes with this whiskey, cream and mustard sauce, which I found to be ever so slightly like non-traditional, but not in a bad way. I really enjoyed the mustard. It was an interesting addition, and because we are having so much haggis this week, I am actually really enjoying any variation. They also do red wine sauce if you're not really into that whiskey cream sauce, and of course, as every haggis place in this town, you can have the vegetarian version. So for me, this is the best choice for everyone who wants to try some haggis quick and on a budget and in a friendly space where you can also attend like a fun little storytelling event. Okay, time for our second haggis, and this is going to be a place that I would call the Modular Haggis restaurant, because they don't really necessarily specialize in haggis, but it is one of their options, and they do have a lot of options. This is a place called, I used to say Macar's Mash Bar, but I'm pretty sure it's Macker's. If you know, let me know in the comments below. Anyway, as you can tell from the name, they do specialize in mash. So if you like your mashed potato, you're gonna love this place. And you can have it with haggis on top, you can have it with a nice stew, you can have it with some vegetarian options, and they do make vegan mash as well with olive oil. So you can have like a vegan haggis over olive oil mash, and how great is that? They also, I noticed, do like a starter portion of haggis, which they themselves promote as like the perfect portion for someone who has never had haggis before and don't know what to expect. They source their haggis from a butcher called AJ Hornick's, which I have to admit I've never heard about before, but it was very tasty. I think they're based in West Calder. Yeah, really tasty haggis. So the guys from Macca's really put some good effort in to find the best haggis for you to try if it's your first time. One thing that might be just a wee bit confusing is that they actually have two locations, but they're basically next to each other. They're not immediately next to each other, but they're like in the same block. So the one that you can see behind me on the corner, that's their walk-in location, so you can't really make a reservation there, but that's good. There's always, you know, there's probably always some tables to ask for if you want some later night haggis. Then they have the second one, which is the reservation one. It was quite busy, so if you do want to make a reservation, do it well in advance. And if you're still watching this video, then I'm guessing you like haggis, and I need to show you a thing once I find it in my back pocket. Oh my god, too many layers, it's very cold. It's a thing I made. It's haggis, neeps and tatties. That's the theme of this video. Wow. So this is a trio of pins, one of my newest designs. They sell for £14, but there is 3 of them, and they are very classy. They're gold. You can put them on your blazer if you're maybe attending some sort of like embassy event, but also they're fun, so you can even wear them just like on your backpack when you're traveling into the Highlands. Live your dreams. You can get these at the Scottish Design Exchange here in Edinburgh on George Street, or in my Etsy store. Link in the doobly-doo. And the last haggis dinner of our very haggis heavy week has been here in Coburn Street in Arcade Bar, and it was actually kind of hard for me to decide which of the restaurants we would visit for our third visit, because I wanted it to be different from the other two. I wanted it to be like posher, a bit over the top perhaps, or maybe like pubby. But in the end, Arcade Bar won because we knew that we liked that place. We have been in it before, and it has usually been like the default place to take people who have been visiting and really wanted to have like a easy place to try some haggis. So that was always like our personal tip. So yeah, we wanted to make it a part of this video just as a special tip from us to you. One more thing that the Arcade Bar has going for it is that they not only do the classic haggis, neeps and tatties, but they also do the Princess Diana haggis, which is with like a creamy sauce with Drambuie liqueur. And what I had was actually the chicken. I thought that it would be chicken stuffed with haggis, but it was more like a little roulade, and it came with this pepper sauce, something you would get over steak. It was delicious. It was like you had like the smokiness of bacon and the pepperiness and spiciness of haggis, and also this beautiful sauce. I just couldn't get enough of it, but I had to share it with Simon, so I got to try some of the Princess Diana haggis, which are also beautiful, especially if you like milder flavors. The creamy sauce was kind of balancing out the peppery haggis quite well. It's also a really nice place if you want to combine tasting some haggis with tasting some whiskey. They do have a really generous selection. Simon seemed to be very impressed with what they have on offer. I mean, you know, places in Scotland should have a good selection, but it's not always the case, so Arcade Bar is good for that. And if you're more into like party stuff, then they also have an extra floor that's a vodka bar, which I think is a new development in their like business plan. I wasn't aware that it was there, but good for them if it makes them money and lets them stay afloat while, you know, selling haggis to everyone who needs it. And that was it, our 3 recommendations for if you want to try some tasty haggis here in Edinburgh. I have to say, for myself, now that we've tried these 3 places, I think my favorite was probably Arcade, because I really did like the vibe there. It might have been simply because it was so quiet, it was just really chill. We got those like really nice seats that looked like thrones, really. And that felt very luxurious, and the food was extremely tasty. But I also want to say the food was tasty everywhere. I think if you just want to taste this haggis, then the Storytelling Center and the Haggis Box might be a really good choice, especially if you're trying to have some haggis over the day and not for dinner, or if you're on a smaller budget. Although in Makkers you can get that like starter sort of taster set of haggis. So yeah, all of these three places have something going on for them. To be honest, making this video has been a bit of a challenge because there are so many good haggis places here in Edinburgh, and I think that a good tip to end on is that wherever you go that seems semi-solid will have good haggis. Like, haggis is not something you can mess up, I think. I think some people will try to add a bit of flair to it, like in Haggis Box when you have a bit of that mustard in the sauce. It's very nice. And of course, you know, in Arcade Bar you have the Princess Diana kind of play on the classic dish, which is exciting. But in general, every pub will have haggis, nips and tatties, so you can basically try it and see if you love it anywhere. And if you do decide you love it, then you can absolutely go down the same lane as we did and eat haggis for the whole week and find your fave. To give you some extra tips for places that also came very high in these best haggis in Edinburgh lists: the last drop down in Grassmarket, the Whiskey Rooms, and also Bonnie Burrito if you want to have haggis in like a slightly untraditional way, because they will put haggis in a burrito. Probably not surprising based on the name. So yeah, those are some other places that we were considering visiting for this video, but we wanted to keep it to the Magic 3. Let us know in the comments below if you have any favorites of your own when it comes to haggis, or if you found some sort of nice haggis hidden gem when you last visited Edinburgh. If you want to see more of my face, don't forget that I also exist on Instagram under KakiBot for mostly my art and my merch, and KakiBlog for my photography and just kind of general life in Edinburgh. And that is truly it for me. Hopefully this has been helpful in your journey to find your new favorite dish, and I shall see you soon. This is Kat. And she has thumbs.